Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna do a tutorial on how to draw dragon feet. If that's something you struggle with, this video is for you because I'm gonna show you my tips and tricks for drawing them. First tip I'm gonna give you is to use references. I know it's hard to find a real life dragon, so we're gonna draw a dinosaur leg instead. It's a hind leg from a T-Rex and it will work quite well as legs for our dragons and wyverns. We will be drawing the bone structure because that will give us the best understanding of the anatomy, and that knowledge will help you later on when you will be designing your own creatures. We start by drawing the ilium, which is the largest and uppermost bone of the hip. Keep in mind that this drawing is for practice, so you don't need to worry about it being perfect. I actually recommend practicing these drawings several times so you can get a good understanding of what is going on. Then we continue with the thigh bone, which is called the femur. When you find this difficult, think of it as a cylinder. I usually draw a guideline in the middle, which will tell me it has a round shape, and it also shows me if the top of the cylinder is facing away or towards me. We use the same approach for the lower part of the leg, which actually consists of two bones. But before we draw in those bones, we still think of this part as a cylinder, and again we draw a line in the middle that will tell us the shape and if it's facing towards or away from us. This might look a bit unclear in the drawing, but when you make it more readable by looking at the basic shapes alone, you can actually see that the leg is bent with the knee facing towards us. With a line we divide the lower cylinder, and now we can see that it's actually two bones. One is called the fibula, and its function beside muscle attachment is for the stability of the ankle, while the other bone, the tibia, is the larger one and is for carrying the weight. And then we draw the bones of the midfoot, the metatarsal bones. We start with a box shape and we divide that into 3 bones. The bones in the toes we call the phalanges, and you can draw them as small boxes or cylinders with a nail at the end. Drawing the toes like this will teach you where they bend, in case you want to draw your dragon grabbing onto something, or maybe it has the toes a bit retracted when it flies. If you start with drawing the boxes and then draw the skin around it, your dragon feet will make a lot more sense than when you would just draw the toes and not think about the anatomy at all. And when you struggle with drawing the toes itself from a reference, like you can't get them right beside or behind each other, you can draw the negative space between them instead. With that I mean the empty area between the toes. Look at that shape, draw it, and then you can draw the toe. We're gonna add some shading to our drawing, which will make it more 3D and will show us the shapes of the bones a lot better. And while you're working on that, you can think about how you would implement a leg like this into your own creature designs. Would you want to use it in a dragon, and what type of forearms or legs would you match it with? Or do you think this would be more suitable for a wyvern? Let me know in the comments what your plan is for your creature. And if you prefer doing this tutorial in real time, you can find that one on my Patreon, so make sure to check it out if you want to learn even more about designing dragons and other creatures. Now we have a drawing of the leg, but I know drawing feet is difficult, so let's draw the foot again but larger, so you can see a lot better what is going on in there. Studying anatomy this way will improve your art by a lot. Draw the leg as a whole and then draw the parts you struggle with larger, so you really get that practice in, but also take more time looking at the difficult parts. The top of this foot is actually where the heel and ankle is, and the metatarsals are the bones of the midfoot. We look at the foot from the sides, so we can only see a large part of the bone closest to us, and then there is also one bone kinda squeezed into the middle. The toes will be attached to the bottom of those bones, and now that we draw them larger, you can see the shapes a lot better. They kinda link into each other with a nail on the front. Again, with the shading we can really create that depth and our drawing is starting to make sense. The T-Rex has a little toe on the back of its foot, so I'm gonna draw that in too, but feel free to change that in your own dragon design. Now that we have made a more in-depth drawing of the foot, let's take a closer look at the toe. I know it can feel a bit tedious by now, but by studying anatomy this way, it will be more likely for you to remember when you are going into your own works, and drawing legs and feet will become a lot less intimidating after this session. Now we have made our drawings of the leg, the feet and the toe. But this is only a side view. What if you want to rotate the foot a little? That is why I use shapes like cylinders and boxes. Instead of thinking about how the entire foot would look if I rotate it a little, I think about what happens when I look at the boxes from a different perspective. So again, we draw the metatarsals, but this time we can see a bit more of them because they're facing more towards us. The toe closest to us is actually pointing in our direction, and that can be a bit challenging to draw. But when I remember the box shape of the bones, this becomes a lot easier. When I draw the top plane of the boxes, all of a sudden it starts to make sense and you can see the perspective. So no matter what you draw, when you find something difficult, break it down into simpler shapes and start with that. And now we have rotated the foot a little bit more towards us. If you would need a follow-up tutorial on this one, please let me know in the comments, but I do plan on making more leg and foot tutorials soon based on other animals. If this video was helpful to you in any way, please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to support this channel, it really helps to watch another one of my tutorials. Thank you for watching and I'll see you with the next one.